What video we're recording is perfectly innocent, but becomes terrifying when you look into the story behind it. My mom and I recently watched one of those 2020 shows, and they were talking about a woman who went out drinking one night, and was never seen again. She had gone back to one guy's apartment, but hotel footage showed her leave shortly after arriving, and the guy in the apartment swore he didn't do anything to her. But they kept interviewing this one guy, who was the last guy to see her alive. They stopped at a gas station, and he claims that she started talking to another guy, got in his car and left. He played the whole "if I had only known, I wouldn't have let her go" act, with tears and everything. Well, there's footage of him at his job a couple days later, and the footage is super generic. He has a cooler on a rolling cart, and he's putting it in a freezer. When the police interviewed his boss, they asked to see all of her footage, and she obliged. When they got to that part of the footage, him putting the cooler in the freezer, she told police to stop. She said that those coolers were used to store granola bars, and there was zero reason for those bars to be put in the freezer. The girl's body was in there. He took it out back and burned basically everything in a barrel down the alley a couple days later, but it was before the police had seen the footage. And he had bleached his entire van before police could search it. The TV show The Willis Family that had 2 seasons on TLC. The dad was super controlling of his 12 kids and wife and just gave off creepy vibes. I was shocked though to find out that he had been raping his own daughters for years, with the oldest saying that molestation started when she was 3. All 12 children were homeschooled and did dance and wrestling, but only with each other. They were so isolated from other people. He was also strict about his daughters saving themselves for marriage even though he was raping them. There's a clip from the show of him discussing all the kids building houses on his property so his future grandchildren would be close by. It's like he was trying to set up his next victims for when his daughters grew up. The worst part is the mom knew for a while but didn't do anything about it. It was a family friend that ended up reaching out to authorities, which led to his arrest and sentence of 40 years. It's super creepy to see clips of the show knowing what was happening behind closed doors. Considering the hidden and plain sight sexual abuse by Josh Duggar, you'd think TLC would be more careful when they do shows of families in the Quiverful cult. People who have those extremely skewed, controlling views of sex are rarely up to any good. What about the video that was on Tosh? Oh, where there were 2 girls and the dad tied them in a playful way to the bed. But it was really like a pedophile tutorial on how to do this to kids so the pedophile could do what they wanted. Tosh said on the show it was creepy and the guy's whole YouTube channel was weird. A few months later the FBI or something investigated it and it turned out the guy was a pedophile abusing the girls and exploiting them on his kid's YouTube channel. That video looked creepy innocent until you find out the real story. Reminds me of that picture of 2 girls on their knees eating whipped cream off an older guy's knees. The girls are smiling, probably thinking they're playing some goofy game, when obviously in reality the guy is grooming them to normalize that behavior. I hope those girls are okay. It was a priest too. It was like an initiation game where the freshmen had to take on challenges. Fucked up. There was a picture of a 16-17-year-old girl floating around very briefly years back. It was just an innocent picture of some teen posing for a photo. Look deeper into it and it turns out the girl was from a rich family and had a drug problem. She got into an argument with her dad, stormed out and stole his car, did a bunch of coke, then crashed into a bridge going hella fast. She was killed instantly. As sad as that is, the fucked up part is why the photo was being passed around. Somehow the photos taken as the scene of the crash found their way online and horrifically cruel people decided to send out fake memorial emails to this girl's family. Opening the email seemed innocent enough. A heartfelt subject about how terrible this was, a photo of this girl before she died, but scroll any further and there are the pictures of her corpse with messages taunting her loved ones. I found one of these messages and her body was not in one piece. It was mangled. Seeing your daughter's corpse is one thing, seeing it in that state is something else, but to have people playing with it online for no other reason than to hurt you is unthinkable. Porsche girl, Nikki Katsaurus.
Please like and subscribe for new content.